Margin Call is a film that takes one piece of information from a individual very low down on a power structure at a corporation, and over a 27 or 28 hour period, we watch that one piece of information travel through 8 or 9 people up the chain of command to the CEO of the company. And we just watch what that one piece of information does to each of their lives.
Take a look at it. Be careful.
One of my favorite things about this screenplay is that it doesn't judge. It's not written to drag these people through the coals or to, hang them by their toes. It's actually an exploration of the choices people make in their lives and the fact that this particular group of people ultimately had one choice to make, and that was whether or not to accept a job working for this firm. And beyond that, so much was out of their control.
How did you end up here?
It's all just numbers, really. Just changing what you're adding up, and to speak freely, the money here is considerably more attractive.
Everyone that reads the script from the first person that did, the thing that I think drew a lot of the people to this originally is that it feels throughout the whole script that there is this increasing level of tension.
This is it! I'm telling you, this is it!
When I read the script for Margin Call, I thought, well, it's a great story, but it also clarifies what a lot of us sort of thought might have been happening, but didn't quite understand how it was happening and why it happened, and this makes it clear, but in a very dramatic way. It's a great story. It has wit, it has suspense, it has well-rounded characters, and I thought it would be fun to do.
If we're going down, and you damn well know it'll be together.
JC, who wrote the script, who really understands the world, is obviously, with any first-time director, there's a lot. The learning curve is incredible, but his level of optimism and enthusiasm, he's not stopped.
Especially because I think he, in the process, without having any judgment for our lack of knowledge, the depth of his knowledge is only continually expansive.
Everyone plays on the same level, and everyone adopts the same tone for the film. The film has a real consistency of tone, and there's a real connectedness to the film, a greater connectedness to the film when you're working, when you create a good ensemble. I think that he's been able to do that in this so far. I mean, we've only just started shooting, but it feels very comfortable already, and the actors are all here for the right reasons, which I think are the fact that the script is so smart and compelling in a very, as I said, in a very subtle way.
He took a little bit of my career, which is in this movie, the very end of my career with Merrill Lynch, which was, unlike Stanley Tucci's, mine was 39 years instead of 19 years. But I used to take him in with me, sit him on the trading desk at age 10, 12, 14, because I always thought he had an inkling that I thought he'd make a good trader. And I do, I think he would have. He's got enough sales skills as much as I think a good sense of markets. But he had no interest. He had no interest in going into the business. And from a very young age was interested in the film business.
It's also, the film is meant for a fairly broad audience, frankly. I'm hoping it's really a human story at its core. So the fact that I, had this broad enough knowledge or detailed enough knowledge of what was going on was helpful. But having not worked or been in this world, I feel like it gave me a perspective to actually look at it with sort of a more sympathetic eye, sort of on both sides. So you know, not being a banker who is defending bankers, but also knowing, you know, a lot of these people and knowing that, you know, it's not pure evil either.
I think it has a tremendous heart for our culture, our society, who's been confronted with this financial crisis for the past few years, certainly the last couple of years. I think this story makes it accessible to an audience. I really think that that's the thing that drew all of us in when we first read the script and made the decision that this would be the first thing that we championed as a company and that the first feature that we really fought to get made.
Shout out to my boys up in Harlem. Peace for Queens. I'm sorry?
All right, so just one piece of advice to everyone here before we go in there. This will get a bit ugly, but whatever you do,
I would say that while I'm walking.
and then it would be with
I
the
would
scientists.
stop and say that, just one piece of advice. But does it have to happen?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that means everything's not bad.
Did you get that? Good.
Good morning, Matt. Can I grab a coffee, please? 150. Thank you.
Peter.
Hey.
Hi. It's so good to see you.
You too.
You look tired.
I am tired.
So what are you doing here?
I never left the office. I had to get out for a little walk.
Still working there?
Yeah. Of course.
Oh, well, I just thought
How are
that-
you? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
You look good.
Thank you.
I should probably get back.
Oh yeah, I should go too.
How's your father?
He's good. Thanks for asking.
Will you tell him I said hi?
I will. Hey. Any inside tips for him?
Sell.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing major right now. We got about 3 or 4 minutes. Three more minutes. Hang on a second.
At the end of the day, almost everyone else in the world, including me, will have considerably less money than they began the day with. You, in this room, are the exception. You will leave here today richer. You will fire the first shot. Now, I wish this didn't have to be, but there are times when the market must eat its weak. And you all are not the weak. You must strike quick, with no doubt. If you hear a pause on the line, attack. By noon, the SEC are going to be in here, sniffing around, getting in your faces. You leave us to take care of them, and you just keep going. We own what we're choosing to sell today, and there's nothing they can do about it. 107 years ago, this firm was founded. Today, we ensure our place in the next 107. Now, 2 minutes before we get started. Let's finish this so we can get on to the next one.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So this is one of our 2 deleted scenes from the movie that stars Zach and Grace Gummer, who's an amazing young actress and happens to be Meryl Streep's youngest daughter.
And this is, you know, a bad directing job, frankly.
and production problems that were unavoidable. It got too bright.
This is one of these sad situations where this was supposed to play in the, you know, this is a beautiful scene with Grace Gummer, who delivers a great performance.
And she's stunning and just does a great job.
You know, it was poorly conceived. Essentially, you can notice this is like a bad film school assignment. We had a street with a billboard that I believe it was an Inception billboard, which would have time-stamped the project. It had the Madison Square Garden on one side, and then as you can see over her shoulder to the right there, like an empty lot, so 3 of my 4 angles basically were things that I couldn't shoot.
But the reason for this scene was when Peter takes his walk at night, the idea was that he was going to run into some part of his outside life, and we made the decision, or JC made the decision, that it was going to be an ex-girlfriend that was sort of coming home from bartending or something, and they were going to have a little wistful, slightly sexy, and it is that romantic interlude here, but the notion that it's just a sort of a passing moment, and then she asks him the big question here.
Hey. Any inside tips for him?
Sell.
She asks if there are any inside tips for the father.
You know, which is a great line. I love the line. It's sell, you know, and interestingly, the one guy that everyone was cheering for is the one guy that actually passes on inside information.
It's the only crime committed in the entire movie.
Sometimes a scene that is beautiful and works on its own doesn't work inside the whole movie, and you're about to see one here, another one, which is, you know, Jeremy Irons. You know, I actually haven't seen this in a long time. I want to sit and watch this for a minute, but this is Jeremy coming and rallying the troops.
Right before the trading day starts.
Before the trading day starts. And it basically took away from spacey speech, and it also took away from Jeremy's sort of second
at the end.
scene at the end.
This is one of my favorite parts of this scene is that Jeremy basically invades Kevin's territory here, and Kevin has to put the phone down and sort of go, "What the hell are you doing on my floor?"
You will fire the first shot. Now, I wish this didn't have to be, but there are times when the market...
And all the traders are like, "What the hell is the CEO doing on our floor?"
Yeah.
And it's a great piece of writing on JC's part.
I know, I'm
It's
sad
a really
not
good
in the
speech, and
movie.
Jeremy. It's the first thing Jeremy shot, and he came in and we had no idea what to expect other than the fact we knew he was a great actor. And he walked in and delivered this speech, word perfect and beautifully, just like this. I mean, in one. And immediately we were like, "Wow, Jeremy Irons definitely came to play."
Yeah.
So I will say on JC's behalf that when it came down to the editing of the film, the day when everyone, including JC, all realized that ultimately this scene needed to go, both because of the pressure it put on other scenes around it and for length and for a bunch of reasons, he he very kindly said, "Guys, I understand. I'm going to need the weekend to just mourn the scene, and we can do it on Monday." Kevin's little eye roll there is very funny.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And then there's a little trading floor footage here, I think. Yeah. This was at a time when you were considering using this as the footage instead of the footage of
instead
other
going
trading
to shoot
floors.
Something.
These extras actually do a really great job here. Background performers, they're not technically extras. They look like traders. That guy in particular.